Hey everybody, so glad to be back. Sorry for the days that I haven't been able to be on here and get this news and this truth out to you. Just had a few things happen with my computer going down and just busy with family stuff for the last couple days, so we're gonna get back into it now though. Once again now, even after I've not had to cover it for the last week, we knew this is where they were going to go with this, okay? Talking about this second wave that they've already predicted that's what's going to happen. Like they predicted pretty much everything so far, knowing that they are behind it. They are using us against us. And what I mean by that is it's article after article of all of us not listening and adhering to these social distancing guidelines.
The nation clearly struggling to balance how to reopen the country without putting even more lives at risk to COVID-19. The worrying scenes of holiday crowd control from across the country, footage from Backwater Jack's at Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri showing a tightly packed pool party in full swing just one day after similar images raised concerns. In Texas, tubers defying social distancing as they beat the heat to celebrate the long weekend. Boardwalks back in business and bustling, this scene in Ocean City, Maryland, an annual rite of passage as Americans mark the unofficial start of summer. President Trump marking this Memorial Day at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier in Arlington National Cemetery, keeping a safe distance. And that staggering number, the U.S. is now rapidly approaching nearly 100,000 lives lost to this pandemic. Is enough being done to prevent that toll from soaring even higher? ABC's Stephanie Ramos leads our coverage tonight from the Jersey Shore.
Tonight, an unprecedented Memorial Day. Thousands emerging from quarantine, many defying social distancing guidelines despite new cases of COVID-19 increasing in several states. New images of packed pools at Missouri's Lake of the Ozarks for a second straight day. They were at it again.
If you're worried about it, stay home. If you don't want to catch it, then stay home.
The state's Department of Health releasing a statement just hours ago warning this is when we tend to see the long-lasting and tragic impact of these decisions that are being made. Crowds descending on the scenic Lake Havasu in Arizona. In Texas, this river overflowing with tubers.
If I get it, everybody else getting it. Hey, it's life.
This club in Houston crammed with partiers. The city vowing to enforce its 25% capacity rule on bars and clubs after about 300 complaints of people not social distancing. Dr. Deborah Burke says she's very concerned.
We now have excellent scientific evidence of how far droplets go when we speak or just simply talking to one another.
So we know that they can now use this and say, look, we gave you all a chance. You didn't listen. Now we have to lock it down again because nobody could follow the social distancing guidelines. We knew they were going to do this and use all of this against us. Okay? And here's your lovely Dr. Anthony Fauci on how America can avoid a second wave of the coronavirus. Okay, this is from today at 11:18 a.m. As the U.S. continues to battle the novel coronavirus outbreak, fears over a second wave of cases have been looming over the country. While there is no doubt that more cases will continue to emerge in the months ahead, it's not too late for America to prevent a second wave of COVID-19, according to Dr. Anthony Fauci, the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases and member of the White House COVID-19 Task Force. Speaking to Newsweek, Fauci says, "It is in our hands. We can prevent a second wave if we respond to the inevitable infections we'll see in the fall and winter. There's no doubt that this virus is not going to disappear from the planet by the time we get to the fall and the winter, because there's considerable activity right now in the United States, even though some cities and states are going down in virus cases from looking at the charts." Fauci says that's because the novel coronavirus is prevalent and highly transmissible. I don't think there's a chance in the world that we're going to avoid more infections. Inevitably, there will be infections in the fall and winter. Fauci explained, the virus is very difficult to completely control and eliminate, and there will always be some infection in some part of the planet, especially since people are traveling. I mean, China is seeing that now. They practically completely suppressed the virus, but now travel-related cases are coming back into China. But when those inevitable cases appear, it doesn't mean we inevitably will have a second wave. It's about how we respond and prevent these infections from becoming a true resurgent wave. It's in our hands. We've got to be able to grab the bull by the horns and be prepared, Fauci says. See, they continue to push it and say it's all in our hands. As long as you do what we're telling you, as long as you listen and obey all of our rules, we can avoid this second wave. But if you don't, of course this second wave is going to come in. And that's how they're leading it up with all the stories about people at beaches, pools, etc. not following these guidelines. It's difficult to predict what the level of infection will be. It's tough to predict how things are going to be this summer. We're hoping that the numbers will go way down when we get to June, July, and August. Perhaps there will be a decrease in cases because of the weather, but we don't know yet if that will be a contributor or not. We hope we can get some help from the weather, but we can't count on it, he adds. And this is the whole thing as well. They are continuing to blur the lines and merge all of this, what they're saying is coming from the coronavirus. You know, how they've kept all of the symptoms so vague. And, you know, now they're talking how it's going to mix with the actual flu strain coming this fall and winter. So that these two are going to combine and have disastrous effects.
For more than 3 months now, the world has been grappling to contain a mysterious virus which knows no borders. Coronavirus has wreaked havoc across the globe and has infected more than 2.5 million people worldwide. A second wave of COVID-19, the infection caused by the virus, is expected to hit the United States in the winter months. And the second onslaught could be even more devastating. Why? Because it will collide with another seasonal scourge, influenza.
But see, right there is them again converging the two, blurring the lines between normal, you know, influenza deaths and everything that goes on with that, and then their completely ludicrous numbers from the coronavirus. And they continue to say that we can spread it everywhere because people just don't even know they have it. You know, that's why there's such a threat, is because people can have it for so long and not know it and just be infecting everybody because nobody can tell if they have it or not.
Continue to recommend to the public very clearly that you can't tell who's infected. And so that's why you have to continue to social distance. That's why you need to continue to maintain 6 feet apart.
I mean, listen to this. The novel coronavirus is more likely to be with us for another season or two, depending on when a vaccine is ready, which we know this is all about, non-stop about the vaccine. With the second season expected to be much milder than the first, especially if there's a vaccine, see? Only if there's a vaccine will we ever get back to some, you know, sort of normalcy, according to them.
Yeah, because until we get almost everybody vaccinated globally, we still won't be fully back to normal.
If we have a vaccine by next winter, that would be a game changer, but there's no guarantee we'll have it. But if we don't have a vaccine, we'll have another season of it, and hopefully by the following season, we will have a vaccine. I mean, this is crazy. Listen to that. I mean, they're saying that if we don't get this magical vaccine right now, that we're going to, you know, get another wave of this. But listen how they say that we'll have another season of it, and hopefully by the following season we will have a vaccine. So if we don't, it's going to continue to get worse. That's their whole thing. A vaccine or no life. A vaccine or none of your rights anymore. Simple as that. And once again, they want to push these tests so bad. It is non-stop about testing. I mean, U.S. will conduct up to 40 million tests per month. As of Wednesday, around 4.5%, or 14.9 million of the U.S. population of nearly 330 million people have been tested for the virus, according to the latest figures from who else? Of course, Johns Hopkins University. Nearly 314 million people in America have yet to be tested. See, it's all about testing, and they're going to continue to use that and say, well, we don't know where we're at because we don't have the testing. And we already know they're going door to door with all these tracers and trackers to completely destroy any privacy that you had left and decide if they want to take you if you don't take the test, take you if you do take it, etc., etc. All we know is that this has been about testing this whole time and then getting all your rights suspended and then leading to the mandatory vaccines. And here you go, vaccine on target for December. As of Wednesday, around 125 potential novel coronavirus vaccines were reported to be under evaluation, according to the latest report from the World Health Organization. 125 different types of vaccine. Back in March, the U.S. began the first human trial for a potential COVID-19 vaccine, which was developed by the biotechnology firm Moderna. The first phase of the trial for the mRNA-1273 vaccine is being conducted at Seattle-based Kaiser Permanente Washington Health Research Institute. Okay, and remember that this type of a vaccine, the mRNA, they are DNA manipulators. They completely mess with your DNA. It is horrible what they are doing. And listen, right here, this is great. The Moderna trial is one trial, but hopefully by late summer / early fall, there will be more than one trial at play. And if things work out, we hope to get an efficiency signal by late fall / early winter. And if that's true, and there's always a big if, because it's entirely conceivable that the vaccine will not work. That should just scream at you. They're just going to give out all this poison, and they're telling you flat out it still may not work. Just like the flu. I'm going to leave the link to this article and the other articles that I bring up, so you can go ahead and go back and look at all of this and read all of this. But I just want you to see how much they're pushing this next wave that's coming in. And, it sure seems like they are leading the stories where, you can see where they're going with their agenda, leading towards, complete, chaos, going back to lockdown, because that's all they're saying nonstop is that we're not listening, and guess what that means? The second wave is coming, and you better be ready for it. But I'm going to go ahead and get off here. I just wanted to tell you all it's great to be back. It's great to be able to make a video again and start getting this information back out to all of you and to all of your families that, desperately need this information to be spread by all of us. Please continue to stay in the Word. Please continue to pray as much as possible. Pray every single day. The more we can pray against this evil, the better off we are all going to be. Don't ever lose your faith. Don't ever fear what they are pushing out non-stop. We will get through this. We just have to continue to spread the information. Thank you all so much. I hope all of you and your families are doing well, and I will talk to you soon. God bless.